All right. Great seeing everybody tonight. Welcome to our team call. I'm really excited about what you guys are going to share with me tonight. Okay, so I gave you guys homework, and I really hope that you guys had a chance to listen to Louis Smith's leadership call. I've listened to it a couple of times, and you know, you have to remember, I hang out with Louis Smith. I hung out with him in Mexico, so I understand how his mind works. And boy, oh boy, can you learn from this man. He is always on the go. He's always thinking, talking. But the main thing is what I like about him, you know, sometimes people think he's like, I mean, he's very out there. But, you know, he's, what is he? What diamond is he, guys? What level? 2 diamond. Do you know how much 2 diamonds make? Not a 6-figure income a year, probably a 6-figure income monthly. Okay. So should we listen to the man? I think we should listen to him. You know, one thing, I'm just going to give you one takeaway that really I think was an important part of his sharing, was we have to connect more with people. And you know, I think we've been so used to staying home and being confined and being comfortable working behind our screen. And I made that mistake because the business grew while we were home and not connecting with people outside of, you know, the people that we could connect with over Zoom or internet, or, you know, and luckily we were able to connect with some people from the past, and because everything that's going on. But now that we're out there or allowed to go out there, right, I'm finding that we're still hiding from behind our screen. Right, Wen? Can I pick on you, Wen?
Why?
Wen had an amazing event connecting with her neighbors. And I think this is something, just an idea for you guys, because I mean, it's difficult to rent venues and, you know, go to rent a hall, or sometimes even a lot of the networking events, they're limited to numbers, and hopefully that will start picking up, but they're costly, right? They can be $300 to $500 to set up a booth. I have to say, Mansuda gave us the great idea. She introduced a few neighbors in her neighborhood by setting up a table outside. She invited people personally, though that was one thing that we shared with Wen. She made a personal invitation and Mansuda went to her neighbors that she knew, and they kind of knew of her, and she connected with them and invited them personally to come to the event between this time and that time to sample smoothies, to take a look at some of the cleaning products, but she let them know what to expect. Okay, and they knew they were coming for snacks and food and coffee and tea, right, and sample smoothies. So just another way of connecting with people in your community. So I'm also finding that, you know, when I'm out and about, I stopped starting conversations with strangers, and I used to be really good at that. I just kind of, I don't know what happened. I guess because we got so used to communicating with people through a screen that I got out of the habit of talking to people out and about. So I've been making a conscious effort to connect with people, to go, just start conversations, right? You don't know if where it's gonna go, but just start conversations and connect with people. Okay, so that's one thing that that I got out of Louis, and there was so much more. So who else would like to share a key point, a key takeaway from Louis Smith today? Anybody, please. Patience.
Well, we talked about consistency. Consistency. Do it and do it and do it, and you get results if you keep on doing it. But then there was also one that actually made me laugh towards the end. I haven't listened to it again, but this is from the first day I watched it. When he said, if you don't take it in, you won't. So if you won't take it in, you won't be able to take it out. Am I saying it wrong? Or if you take it in, you need to take it out. Nobody else will do it for you. So get this thing done and follow up on it and get the results.
Yeah, like he always used to say, get off your rusty dusty.
did say that.
Right? He says that quite a bit in his talks. It's kind of cute.
Just to add to that, what Patience said, he said consistency and repetition allows you to master the technique. So if you're consistently doing it, as opposed to once every 3 months, it's like doing it all over again. So you master it.
Yes. You know what? That's so true, repetition, because I think we get nervous the first time or the second time we do it. And then if we wait another couple of months before we do it again, then it's like starting all over again. You're nervous and you're not good at it. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the easier it sounds, it flows better off your tongue. It becomes more natural when you're talking to people. Like I'm going to give you an example. Today, Lorme and I were walking out on Main Street in Fergus, and there was a man that was emptying his store. It was a hair salon. It said closing, shutting down, and he was bringing out his boxes. And Lorme goes, "Oh, that's so sad. You're closing your business." He said, "Yep. After being here for 8 years, after COVID, there's no way we can survive. And it's been a really hard time. We're retiring, we're closing shop, we're moving away." And, I could have said, "Oh, that's, I'm so sorry for you," and just walked away after that kind of opening. So I actually asked him, I said, "Would you be open to another opportunity that could generate a part-time income without interfering with your retirement or with what you're presently doing?" And it just rolled off because I've done it a few times this week. But when I did it, I guess a couple of weeks ago, I was uncomfortable because I hadn't done it in a while. Okay. But it just came out. He said he wasn't interested. He said, "We're retiring. I just want to shut down. I want to enjoy my wife, and we're going to move up north, and we just want to relax and do nothing." And I said, "That is awesome that you're in that position, that you're able to enjoy your retirement." And you know what? It was just great having that conversation and just connecting. Okay. Who knows what he would have said? Was I disappointed? Was I upset? No, I had good practice. And it was just great to be able to say that without worrying about the outcome. Okay. Anybody else?
He said to believe in your life and believe in the products by using the products.
Yeah.
He said that, yes.
Yeah. And I know he can be, and I've talked to Josh about this a few times when he says you need to be using all the products, right? And I said to Josh, I said, we need to be realistic with our new promoters. As a diamond and, maybe a 1 or 2 ruby, you can maybe, use all the products, okay? But as a family with 5 or 6 children or 4 children, you're just starting out and, your goal is to make enough money to get a breakfast pack for your family or 2 or 3 breakfast packs. For me to go to some of my new promoters and say, you need to use all the products. And then they go to add up all the products and it's $3,000 a month, right? Or whatever. I'm just using this as an example. I think the best way to do it is in the categories. If you're going to go buy shampoo and conditioner from Shoppers Drug Mart, you should be buying from your own store, right? So when you're using the products, you should be experiencing the products from all the different categories, right? The nutritionals, the skincare, the home care, the bath products, right? So you're spending that money anywhere, why not buy from your own store? So you need to look at the different product categories and, rather than buying Windex, you should be buying LDC and Super 10, right? Or laundry detergent or dishwashing detergent. You should be using the Meal Life products. That's, I think, for me, a more reasonable thing to ask you guys rather than me saying to Serena, you need to consume $4,000 a month in supplements, right? It's just, for me, again, Louis Smith can do it, right? But I just want you to understand that, and eventually you'll be able to add more products to your regime as you build your Meal Life business, as you're looking for more write-offs, and as you're generating more income, right? So yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. So you need to experience all the different products from different categories so you can talk about them, right? You can share your experience. Okay, does that make sense? Is that fair to say that, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have expressed that with Josh, and he says, yeah, okay, you're right. Because he, at one of the calls, I remember he said that, he said, that's a priority, it's important. You need to use all the products. And I kind of went, oh, you can't be saying that to your brand new promoters that are just getting started, because that leaves the intention that, well, I don't think I can build a business then because I can't use all the products, right? No. Okay, we need to at least be using the breakfast pack, you know, Supertan LDC, shampoo, conditioner, right? Bath and shower gel. Those are all things that people are spending money on anyways, right? Okay. Awesome. Anything else?
What I liked is there are a lot of nuggets, and he had so many things. And one of, as Joan said, they talk about consistency and repetition, practicing your skill. The other thing that he said was use third-party testimonials and take yourself out of the situation. So you know how we usually talk about what. So for that, I think it's a great suggestion, because if you use someone else's story, you remove yourself from that, like as if you're trying to sell them something.
Yes.
So I thought that was interesting, you know, to make sure that that's you know, something that's up in your head kind of thing, to think, you know, to keep it in mind, so to speak. So that was pretty good. And then he said, don't tell everything about Neolife, right? So don't, you know, like, you know, sometimes you spout everything, which we know. Yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that piece, Leonie, because I'm at fault for that. I sometimes think because I'm talking with them, I want to get them on my island, and I want to get on their island. I think by just sharing my story is enough, but it's almost more like bragging. People can feel that sense sometimes. If it depends on what situation, like how they're feeling. And I find that when I share my son's story or my mom's story, or Serena's daughter's story, right, and or Joan's story, I find that people are more apt to feel like they trust you. Okay, so I think that's why that third party story is really, really good. So that I really understood because I've experienced it, and it made sense to me. It really made me understand the importance of sharing other people's story. I even did an event today with Shelley, and she had a bunch of people in the room, and I shared my story, but then I quickly jumped over to Jack, my mom, and people, you could tell that their eyes widened more, they were more relaxed. And then after the event, one of the girls was interested in the business. So I thought, you know what? I felt a shift and a change in the energy when I shared other people's stories. Okay. Lynn, you had your hand up? You gotta unmute yourself. There you go.
Couldn't get my cursor over. I really see things visually, right? So you're talking about mastery, and Joan said it about being consistent. I think Leonie said it too, because Louis said, don't jerk, and I didn't know. This is the second time I've listened. I didn't put it into context, and he was talking about fishing. You know, bring people in slow and steady. You don't jerk. You know, it's like, okay, I can remember that. It's a good reminder. And the other visual was the dogs. He said, don't slobber all over people, right? And it's like, how many times have I done that? Oh my God, you know, people's eyes roll in the back of their heads. So that's a way I can remember not to do that.
Oh, we used to in the beginning, I remember, and you guys, when we used to do our in-home meetings, we used to carry a suitcase with one of everything. And we get to these people's homes and we plop all the products all on the table, and we talk about every single product. Now, I still became director. I don't know how I did it, but oh man, it was scary. I had to learn about every single product. Yeah, not what not to do at an in-home meeting. That's
and when you have a captive audience, when you don't want to let them go, right? You got a good one here. You don't want to. Yeah, it's thinking. He says, yeah,
stinking thinking. Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. All right, anybody, Joan?
About that slobbering. I think I was thinking about it the other day. So we give a lot of information. We just give. We have to ask them if they want that information too. You know,
Yeah.
and small doses, right?
Yeah.
And also going back to that story, that third party, are you saying, so let's just clarify your story, because I think your story, your own story is important, but in
Yes.
small amounts. Like, you know, we
Yes.
have a story that we tell like here,
Right.
but you have to say it in parts, you know, and just tell them everything, your story.
Right.
And in your story, asking questions, and you go back and forth telling your story. But I think
Right.
you still need to tell your story, right? Are you saying that we still need our story?
Oh yeah, we still need our story, but don't just go on and on and on all about yourself, right? I mean, the products changed my life and they impacted my life, but then I went on to say, but what was more important is the impact the products made on my son, on my mom, on my sisters, on my aunt. The products changed their life. So, and then if there's specific issues that I know they have, then I'll zero in on that person's story and say, you know what, this is what happened when so-and-so, they took a couple of these products and this is what happened. So depended on what issue they were struggling with. It'd be headaches, migraines, arthritis. Okay, the impact that the products have made on those people in my life. Okay, yeah.
So this is my favorite point. Sorry, I just
Yeah, go for it. No.
Let's see, empowering your people to help them. Let's help them prove it works. Okay, so you prove to them by doing, right? You want to move to the next step, set the example, not just telling them what to do, but by doing it. And he says, you set the example and you need to move up. You do what needs to be done to create a vacancy behind you, right? So instead of quote unquote preaching to them that you do this, let's do it, you do it, right? You move up and then they will follow you, kind of thing, right? So that's it's like taking ownership for it, right? Says you can't do it for anyone. It's like going to the bathroom. I love that. Because we try to do it for people. I do it all the time, right? You always try to push my directors up or whatever. No, let them do it now. So that's my new takeaway.
Yeah, you got to, my word after the retreat was empower people. You have to empower them so that they can step up and do it. You're there to help them and guide them, but they need to be the ones that are running. And you're just kind of giving them a little push, a little shove, right?
They're following.
Yeah.
They're following us, right? Whatever we're doing, they're following us.
Yeah. Yeah, as leaders. Yeah. Good one, Joan. Anybody else?
He also said, have a plan and believe in your plan. And then he said, I guess you get off your butt and start moving.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you know how many times we've done goal setting and vision boards, and you know, the year after, people are where they're at, and you know, they're still at the level that they're at. There hasn't been, you know, a lot of movement, or they're not at the level where they've set their goals. And you look back and you're right. They did the goals, they written the goals, they, you know, probably did their homework when it comes to, but they haven't actually physically gone out there and done anything with it.
Yeah.
Right? So you're right, Pauline. You hit it on the nail there.
Yeah.
Get a move on. Right? It's the activity, right? The action and activity.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not adding club members to your business, how are you going to increase your PV?
Yeah, true.
Right? It's just by writing your goals and looking at your vision and not getting out physically and talking to people and building relationships and inviting to presentations, doing one-on-ones, doing a quick 3. Today was awesome with Serena. This person did not have time for a Zoom, and we did a 3-way video chat or 2-way video chat. You were with your friend and there was just like, we just chatted, the 3 of us, over a video call. Okay, so sometimes if that's all people have time for, just do it, as long as there's activity and action, right? Okay. Anybody else? From Louis Smith. Serena.
He talked about the creative stage, and he broke it up into like 20, like quarter, like 25%. So, and he said 25% of your time is to talk to people. So therefore you get your contacts, your list of names. Then another 25% is follow-ups, and you do your compensation plan, like explaining to people about the compensation plan. And then if you do get a promoter, you know, when either you get a promoter, or especially if it's a club member or a promoter, that's another 25% to close the deal, so to speak, whether it's a club member, it's a promoter. And also they said that when you do get the promoter, do the getting started meeting, in wherein you spend an hour and a half to 2.5 to 2 hours, you know, helping that promoter understand all the different things that they have to. And the last 25% is to empower others to succeed. So that would be Zoom calls, in-home, 3-way calls. So he broke it out. I mean, we've talked about, but when he's like 25, so if you have a quadrant, that would be kind of neat that, you know, you break it down so you can really see what each percentage consists of, so to speak. And I thought that was an interesting way of breaking that thing down.
Mhm. And I
That's
think
what we
breaking it up in percentages, you're right. Because if we do it all, if we spend 90% of our time writing our goals and, you know, rewriting our goals and rewriting our goals, and yeah, it's not going to happen, right? It's the other 25, 25, 25, right? That break all up the different activities to spread it out. Okay.
And this helps you visualize. I think this will help you visualize, will help me, and you'll visualize what each section is, right? So if you say, okay, I got to do 10 calls, whatever, then you know if you've done 8 calls, you know you've almost reached that 25% of whatever the effort is. So you break it down, it's visual and it's step by step. I'm a visual person. I see it too that way, and I think it's better on paper that way. Good
Excellent.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
Serena, I saw you put your hand up.
What Leonie said. Thank you.
You know what? Sorry,
I
I can't see anyone because I'm on my phone and my computer's down, so I
Oh,
can see.
so we're all like this big.
No, I can't see you all as only just
You
individually.
can slide the screen across and we all come up. You have to slide your phone.
Oh,
I
go
do
ahead.
have, there
Yeah,
is
go.
one very small thing that he said, and that was think long-term.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is long-term. And he also mentioned speed is king. So the more you grow, you know, the quicker you grow, the faster you grow, but thinking long-term.
Yeah, and I think that's where some of these companies that come in, and I've talked to other people that have tried recruiting me to join their business, and you know, sometimes they've asked me, well, how much do you make? Like that's the first thing out of their mouth, and it's a very rude question, first of all, to ask another network marketing, how much do you make? And I've had some people say, well, you know, I could get you making $100,000, you know, in your first year, and you can be making $20,000 to $30,000 a month if you come and join my business. And for me, that does not entice me, because I know what it takes to get to $10,000 to $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month, and if these companies are making these promises, I find that sometimes it can lead people to false hope. And there are some people that do it in these companies, but how long does it last? Right? What's that?
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn. Yeah, they build, and a lot of times it's just people buying stuff, helping people to buy stuff. But if it's not a consumer product where they can sustain that on a monthly basis, there's no way that income can stay. Okay, so that's why I think that long-term vision is awesome. And I like to, you know, I remember Dr. Overberg at a World Team event that I went to, probably when I was thinking of leaving the police force. And he said to me, don't quit your job until you've matched your income and more, and you've been consistent at that income for at least a year. Because, like, realistically, right, if I was to quit my job and then I'm not consistent in my Neolife business, what kind of stress would that be on our family and our personal life, right? So I really had to make a goal and look at my long-term range and say, okay, once I generate this income, it'll replace my income, but I like to have a little extra income, a little play money, right, on top of what I was generating. And, you know, it was like a 6-year plan. And, you know, and I was able to do that, but I just want you to, oh, sorry. Am I coming through okay? Sound a little echoey there for a second. Okay. Yeah. So that, I think that's where that long-term vision and the stability. Okay. So that's a good one, Serena. Anybody else?
Nada, believe in the plan. I think we're, as a team, as a group, I think we're lacking a little bit of this. He says, can you show the plan? And if you show the plan, it fires you up, understand the industry. And so I think you probably need to get a plan together where we're saying you can make this amount of money, like, you know, at senior manager, at you know, I know we have a sort of a round figure, but if someone shows on say someone on a napkin, they can say, well, at this level, this is what you can make.
Right, rather than just showing PV and BV. You know, we can easily figure that out, Joan. We should maybe add some of those slides that I have. Maybe I'll add the income that, and then you can, yeah. So people need to be able to create it themselves. You're right, write it on a napkin, right? When you're at a restaurant.
Yeah, they need the base, right? So they can follow it, right? I think, what do you think, guys? Do you need that? Do you need that?
Yes, we do. Louis says we have to be able to talk about the plan, and the plan is about compensation. So yeah, we do need that.
Yeah.
In a simple way, you know, but we need to have some figures.
So the compensation plan that I have, and I've sent it to you guys, is that not, because it has the money, has shows senior manager when you have 1,000 PV and how much your income is. It shows how much your check is. Manager shows how much your check is. When you do 2,000, when you do 4,000 and you have to pay people in your team, like I have all that in that PowerPoint presentation.
It's a simple formula too, Nada, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the PV times like 1.5 or 1.6 you get paid on the BV or 1.6. Yeah, and that's it.
That's too complicated though, right?
Can I just say something? I think when you have the breakdown of you got to pay this team, you got to pay that team, I think there's just too much. It's I know, Joan, you just say complicated. I don't know whether that's what you're referring to, because if you say, okay, 4,000 PV, roughly it goes approximately $1,200. Because if you say you got to pay this person and pay A, pay B, and this percent, it just throws them off, especially if it's the first time that they're listening to it. But if they know, okay, 4,000 PV, whatever, and then then they know, and then later on, then perhaps we can go into more detail, because if it's a first time listening, you want to say, okay, okay, I can do that. I that's how much I would want to, because they know how much money they need per month.
And I think it'd be fair to say then, to at least say then from $800 to $1,200 a month, because sometimes when senior manager or when they get to director and their check's only $800, they'll say, well, Nada said I was making $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
But if you have to pay a couple of your senior managers, and the checks drop a little bit. So I think if we give like an average, approximate
range. That's good. Having a range. I think you need a range is good. Like you gave, and it's not like you're not like you said, overstating, because I don't want to other companies do. Yeah.
An average,
even as a senior manager, I remember I made the mistake, not the main mistake. I thought, you can make it $180 a month as a senior manager, but they had 2 managers under them. Right, so they're left with whatever, I'm just giving a ballpark, like $90. They get this $90 check, and they say, you told me I was going to make $150 or $180, right? And then I go, well, this is because this person did 500. Right? So I think it's important that we say approximately between this and this.
Yeah, so not a bait and switch. I think the other way would be a bait and switch. And I think, Lynn, it used to be about 1.5 of the PV for the formula. I think it's actually closer to about 1.8, 1.9 now. Would it not be, Nada?
Yeah, it is higher. I would say to be safe, because all the products, some of the products are different. I would say, let's say 1.7 to be safe.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between when he's showing someone for the very first time. We're talking about,
Right.
we're not talking about training here.
Right.
We're talking about when you ready, when you meet someone, just giving them some figures like, manage, you can say 5%, and you make approximately, the range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that formula thing is only for ourselves, for our own quick calculation. But I know that used to excite me years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I think we can all go and figure out something like a 500 order. And so you have something to show. So if you meet someone tomorrow, would you be ready? We do want, we want promoters, but are we ready, right? So, myself included, right? So I'm going to get some figures, some real figures.
Mhm.
You're ready for someone, right? If
Yeah.
you want them.
Excellent. Okay. Anybody else? Any
I'm
other
going to
tips?
take it back to the third-party testimonials. I think that's really important thing. And when people light up, you were saying that when you were telling your testimony, Nada, but it wasn't until you spoke about Jack and your mother. I think that's because a lot of people don't think that they have a powerful enough testimonial, and to know that you can use someone else's because it is much more powerful. That actually is empowering to them.
Yes.
Because all they'll be thinking about is, oh, I don't have a story that big, I can't talk about myself like that, but I could talk about someone else. And the other thing that Louis said was, it was a line he gave us to use when you were actually talking, you were using a third-party testimonial. He said, can I send you a story about someone who had fill in the blank? So who had what they are complaining about that they have. Someone who had that, or whatever it is, and they beat it.
Yeah.
I like that line.
And they beat it. Yeah.
They beat it. Can I send you a story about someone who had, instead of saying what you have, it's like who had leukemia and they beat it.
That's a good one. Can I send you a story of someone who had that and they beat it?
So you actually say who had what it is.
Okay. So, who had rheumatoid arthritis and they beat it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
I do. Especially with all the stories and testimonials we have in that healthy living community. And that's another thing, guys. Alan Blaine shared with me a couple of times, and even at the retreat, he said that healthy living community, we need to be posting more testimonials in that. These companies that are growing faster than Neolife, is because their teams are putting in, I can't remember the numbers, but I'm going to give you an example. He said they're putting in 100 testimonials a week. We're getting 2.
Mhm.
Right? I hear testimonials all the time, but then they're not put in the healthy living. That group's got to be active. If you have somebody that has a story, get them, just to tell them, take a picture of yourself. And if they don't know how to type it out for them, copy and paste it, say, look, copy and paste this, put this in the group, send a picture of yourself with this story, period. And he wants that testimonial to come from the person sharing to that Facebook group, not from you doing it for them. It's better when it comes from the individual, and help them, guide them through it, do it with them. Okay?
Sorry, I was just going to say, in the retreat, I think he mentioned that, which I thought was also nice to know, that sometimes the picture may never be the exact story you're telling.
Right.
So you may just be feeling good. It might be an internal thing, and you just take a picture of patients. So it may not be the story that's on the face.
Right. Excellent.
I didn't understand. Sorry.
Do you want to repeat yourself, Patience? Clarify that with Joan?
So what it was, I think he showed some pictures of some ladies, and one said that, well, I've been using the products and I'm feeling good, like internally. And she just posted a picture, she's outside with her car. nothing about the story, but she's there and she just looks a little happier.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a dramatic story, right? It could just be, yeah, I'm feeling better and I'm happier, right? Absolutely. Awesome. Anybody else?
Just back to that. So like, I know a picture is much, much, much more powerful, but if you have something and there's no picture, is that still okay?
I think so.
Yeah, because I think
for
not
sure.
everyone has a story there or a picture there. Yeah.
Yep.
Just get those in.
Yeah. But if it's a weight loss one, I think it should have a picture before and after.
Yeah.
Certain things I think deserve a picture. But yeah, that's a good idea. As long as we get them typing something in and posting it in the group, we got to get more, we got to get the testimonials in that group. Okay. We hear it all the time. We get people telling us all the time about how they're feeling and how they're enjoying this, and right, like they're constantly telling us, and I always forget to say, oh, can you put that in this group for us to share your story, right? So I can help you. Okay. Anything else from Louie? Thank you, Louie.
Is he always that enthusiastic?
Oh, he doesn't sleep.
Oh my God. He looks like he's just like, I was like, wow. How old is he?
Never stops.
He's
Never stops.
amazing. Yeah. One of my
How old
favorite
is he?
songs.
I don't know, but before COVID and before Zoom, he was driving. He was doing 3 Zooms a day, but driving from city to city, like not 3 Zoom, in homes. He was averaging 3 in homes a day. In home meeting. Morning, lunch, evening, morning, lunch, evening, driving around the countryside, doing meetings. I mean, he was going crazy. And then when Zoom hit, he's like, okay, this is crazy. Yeah, anyways, he's still doing Zooms. He still does in-home meetings, but not as many. Zoom has been, I think, a good thing for him to take a bit of a break.
I think I saw somewhere, and I tried to figure out his age, and I think he's maybe in his early 60s now.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
He did say he gave away his age because he bought a Toyota truck for $9,000 with his first big truck. But I don't know when they were $9,000, so I couldn't take it back there. $9,000 seems pretty cheap. I thought, boy, he must be a lot older than he looks.
Yeah. Awesome.
Can we ask him if we could get into his in his retreat next time?
Louis Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Louis is very private with his team. That's one thing that I don't think, because his team is too big.
Well, I got because I was listening to the. I was listening to the. Sorry.
Not Louis Smith.
So I was saying that I was listening to one of Bob Pearson's breakfast, and he let them in to attend the retreat.
In person?
Yeah.
Oh, so they physically went.
They physically went. He allowed them to go.
That's awesome, because I know for a while there he was very limited because
he was able to let them into his Facebook page.
Oh, Facebook page, yes. But you're talking his actual business trainings and his retreats?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they attended.
Maybe he's, well, you know what, I have to say though, probably because of who Bob Pearson is.
The whole team, whoever wanted, attended.
Okay, cool. I'll ask. I'll kind of plant a seed and ask and see. But I know that his team is massive. So if they have certain people, I know he allowed us to come into his virtual event.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nata, I have talked to Sue Hamilton, and she indicated that, you know, like, reach out, and yes, that but to some of their Zooms and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he's still, I think, like you said, he's still somewhat protective of his team, and but I think he is loosening up.
Yes, he's definitely loosening up.
One more, it's about pyramid scheme. right?
Yeah.
As soon as you said, you asked, so you had a bad experience, tell me about it, instead of right away trying to explain that, oh, we're not, you know. So just ask, you had a bad experience, tell me about it.
Yeah, find out why they're feeling that way.
Yeah.
About direct selling, for sure. Because sometimes they don't even know why. It's because they've heard from somebody else. Hearsay, right? All right. Anybody else?
There was one thing that he said. He was talking about, you know, how your life is such that he says, I quote here. He says, this is real quality at ridiculously good prices, and I would rather pay less for better quality than pay more for trash. I thought it was kind of cool. I would rather pay less for better quality than pay more for trash. I said, that is so cool. That's a good line.
Psychological, whatever, right?
Yeah, but that was so cool. And I wrote it down. Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a good one, actually. Excellent. Listen, I wanted to share one thing, and Patience, I meant to get back to you on this. Hang on, where are we? Oh goodness, why can't I? Okay. So about the recordings. So the business trainings is private in my YouTube channel. Because I gave you the link to my YouTube channel, you could see everything, but I sent one of the trainings, the health talk, to my son, who's a club member. He didn't have access to my YouTube link, and he showed me, he goes, Mom, see, I don't have access to the business training because you didn't give me that link. You didn't send me a business training link. So I couldn't see it. He wanted to prove to me that because it's private in that group, you guys can see it because I've given you that link.
If
understand?
Someone else, they see it though?
What's that?
If they pass on that link to someone else, would that person be able to?
Well, I'm hoping you're not giving them the whole YouTube channel. If you're going to send them a health talk, you're going to send them the link to that one health talk, correct?
Right.
So they don't see all the others?
They see the health talk stuff because that's public, but they won't see the business trainings.
Okay.
Patience was saying she could see it. That's because I sent you the business trainings. So you have access to the business trainings.
But
So
I actually go in by just doing a search. I don't use the link. I just go to the channel Nada Near Life Health Talks.
Yeah.
And I look at them.
I went on there with my son, and we could not see the business trainings. They were private.
I don't know,
So
maybe
Yeah.
other people could try and see.
Yeah, just try and see, because I tried it with Luke and they weren't there.
Did you want to turn off the recording?
Okay, well, this is for all of us, right? Yeah, maybe I will. Okay, I want to thank you for joining us, and then we can continue this conversation. Thank you.
If you really want to protect this, right? Like someone could send it to somebody else. I'm just saying it's possible. So if there's any information that you don't want to get out there, that, you know, it's kind of open. It's still open, no matter how private it is. You can give it to someone who would give it to someone. I know you hope they don't, but it could happen. So the information we're giving, we have to be sure that it's okay if it went to somebody else.
I don't think it would make sense to give our cycle training to other people. They need
that should be just for us.
Training at the beginning. They need to join this if they really want to.
Yeah, but just like patients gives us links too as well, right? We get links from patients from some of the other trainings. So it could inadvertently. I'm just saying inadvertently. If you feel that some of the information you don't want out there, then just be aware that it could go out.
Right. Okay. I mean, if there's anything we ever talk about on one of these trainings and you don't want me to send the recording, then that would be the only way. But I think so far, I think we've been pretty, I don't think there's anything to hide in our business trainings at this point, unless there's something that's said that you don't want other people to hear. So maybe just let me know, okay?
And sometimes the personal stories that you may share, people may share, it's something that, because I think when we're in this setting, sometimes you may get it gets heart to heart, and you talk about yourself or your conditions, and which may be very personal. And you're my friends that I've never met, but you don't want it to go on YouTube.
Just have to be cautious.
Yeah, just be cautious. If there's something patients that you don't want other people to know, then maybe just don't share it.
Yeah, now I'm very cautious.
Okay.
Now
good.
I'm very cautious about what I share, but it could be anybody. That's the thing. It could be anybody.
I hear you, patients.
And sometimes it's the way we respond, because when I'm here, I try to be as open as possible so that I can get maximum benefit from the training.
Right.
But then if it's going to go out there, it can be not so good.
Okay. Okay, let me stop the recording. Sorry, guys. Goodbye.
I thought I'd stopped.
Sorry.